So what we have here is a project that I'm embarking on. I recently had the idea and I decided to jump in. I'm building a Clapton Strat on a budget. The donor guitar is an SX SST57 Strat copy. A cheap guitar. There's the damage just there. I don't know if you can see it. Just there. It got dropped or thrown. I asked them for a little bit of a discount as compensation. They sent me a guitar strap. I'm not going to complain. It's better than nothing. It's a very cheap guitar. This was just under or around $100 US discounted price. Noiseless pickups will be going in. Budget noiseless pickups that I found online. I found somewhere online where I live, in Thailand, where you can buy the Clapton mid-boost circuit. Summary of what this guitar will be. Upgraded tuners, the stock bridge fixed down, blocked off, and these import noiseless speakers and a real Clapton mid-boost circuit, which I'll install myself. I'm buying another scratch plate, which is a bit nicer than the stock single ply. It's a thin single ply, like a 50s one. It looks a bit better. And I'll document what's in between that, with the extra work that I'm doing to this and that, finessing this and that. This neck is just lovely. This is really what gets these guitars their rave reviews, in my opinion. The hardware, to be frank, whilst it's usable, it's junk, this stuff. It all works, but that's not what makes this guitar really good for the money. What makes this guitar really good is the finish and the quality of the neck. That neck pocket is perfect. And it's a nice weight. It's a nice lightish, but not cheap feeling. It's the build and the feel. One thing that's quite different, this horn. It's much rounder and broader than an actual Strat body. It's closer to the dimensions of a Telecaster than a Strat. It doesn't really matter. And overall, the width here and here is about 0.5 centimetre, 5 millimeters wider than a normal Strat body as well. So it's overall, it's slightly wider, and it's about the similar thickness to a full-size Fender body. Okay, so here we are. I got a bit ahead of myself. I took it apart. So the tuners, they're not really that nice. The bridge, shocking. It's very thin. Looks like it's made of tin. Not very confidence-inspiring. The pickups, I mean, you know, they're okay. You can get by with these. So what I'm doing with this, I'm just leaving this intact, taking the whole thing out, leaving it intact. I'll either put it in some other project or I'll give it to someone. So this is what's left. If you want to replace the bridge in this, then you must make sure, unless you want to fill and re-drill the holes, you want to make sure that the mounting spacing of the screws is 52.5 millimeters, 2 1/16 inch, which you'll probably find will be the same as the string saddle spacing as well. It's got that neck. This guitar here is magic because of this neck, in my opinion. That nice chunky but not too chunky neck, very nice profile. It's deep and wide, and the fretwork, there's no sharp edges. They're very, very well finished. And these are what look to be jumbo frets as well. I would say it's probably, it's very much like a typical 50s type carve. They've got that quite right, I'd say. So I'm looking forward to getting to play it. I thought this was going to be heavier than it is. It's not. The listing said 3.8 kilograms, the total weight of the guitar. It's not, it's lighter than that. It's a good 2 or 3 pounds lighter than I thought it was going to be. So the thickness of this body is, okay, it appears to be 44.5 millimeters, which is 1.75 inches. That might actually be full thickness, which means it will take a full-size block. I can't remember offhand, but I'm sure in the comments you'll let me know whether I'm right or wrong. I've got some unbranded, well, they're not unbranded. The brand is Kawaku. Never heard of them before. Just some cheap looking, well, cheap look, they don't look cheap, they just look like pickups, but they're noiseless pickups. They look like they're probably pretty low output. Alnico 5 magnets, stacked humbuckers, about $20 each. But actually looking at this, I probably will replace the nut. That G-string looks pissed, that slot there for the G-string. I might change out the saddles. I do like brass saddles. They're not expensive. I'm probably going to get some. Well, looking at this, it's pretty certain that it's not shielded. So I shall decide whether I need to or not with the noiseless pickups. And there, as you can probably see, a quick mock-up, that's probably where the battery will go. That's another reason why I thought, well, let's stick with the skinny block. Another way to save money might be, I've got some Wilkinson ones of these already. I've got some Gotos on that red one there. Those are the Gotos. They are lovely. I'd say If you're not on a strict budget, just get those Gotos. They're impeccable. They're absolutely impeccable. This guitar is going to get the nickname the SX SlowHand. Okay, one step further. Shielding. This is interesting. I hope it works. This is connected to here through the hole screwdriver, this one, with it wrapped around with the adhesive side on the outside. I carefully pushed through the hole into the jack plate and then anchored it in place. Used a bit more of the tape to go over the joins and then remade the hole. So continuity goes all the way from the jack cavity to the control cavity and the pickup cavities as well. I've also done this. I've shielded the entirety of the inside there. There's a few reasons for this. Most likely I'm going to put the circuit board in here to save me having to route a new hole in the front here. I figured put it in there. If I can get it in there, great. With the battery behind there, the circuit board in there should have room for the claw. Or the next thought was to cut this claw down so I just have this hole and one hook left like that, small piece, to put into the corner there. That I'd have this amount of space here as well if I needed it for any connections or wires or trailing wires or anything like that inside here. In the process of doing this, I've realized I might not even need to put in the spring and the claw, because my main reason for that was for grounding. It wasn't for any tonal reasons. Now, because this shielding is continuous with the top of the guitar grounded to the ground of the circuit, it means that this bridge is also part of that shield. That's touching the shield. Therefore, all of this is continuous. So my ground wire is in effect already there in place to the bridge. And if that's the case, I've just created an extra inch or two of space in here to fit my stuff in there. It's all shielded. If I've got lots of space left over to play with, then I might just put the claw in anyway. Belt and braces, as they say. So I hope you enjoyed part one. Wasn't too boring. If you made it this far, thanks very much. So what you've seen so far is everything that I've been able to do so far with the parts that I've got and the stuff that I had available. Everything else is yet to come, because I'm either waiting for parts to arrive or I'm saving up the money to buy new parts. Please like and subscribe if you want to see what happens next. Check out some of my other videos, my music. So part two coming in the not too distant future.